we're going to divert out of Chovat HaLevavot. I was in Israel recently and I came across this sefer. It's changing my life. I learn it with my son every night. The Igeret Ramban, the Ramban's ethical letter to his son Nachman, for him to be humble, changed my life 35 years ago, 36 years ago. It caused me to do Chozer B'Tshuva, and so now the Mashgiach of our generation, the greatest Baal Mussar, Ramban Segal, I went to his yeshiva to see him. He was not there, unfortunately, but I did come across his beautiful work, commentary on the letter. So I figured we're going to finish this, because it's just such gold nuggets. Today I just became such a chassid of his. I went online and ordered all his Sfarim. He has a Pirush on Mesilas Yesharim and on Rosh Hashanah, and I became so we know that the Ramban, there's a introduction to this letter. We're going to read the introduction, then we'll read two of his commentaries. So he says, what's the story behind this letter? I mean, I loved it so much. If you see over here, I want to give one to each one of my son-in-laws and a few of my friends. It just became, it's also a short book. It's easy to cover. It's easy to review. And so it says that the Ramban's son was living in Kaltanuya. I think the Ramban at this time had already moved to Israel. And he wants to encourage his son to be humble. Because the crown jewel of all good, right? There's many admirable and precious traits that one should have. Like being kind and merciful and giver. But the crown jewel, that's really an umbrella, everything comes under it, is humility. And he asked
to be humble.
Yeah. So he asks,
what's the definition of that exactly?
Humble, you don't take any credit. Rashi says humility.
You mean you don't claim that you can do many things?
No. Let's say you're very good looking. Let's say you're very good looking. You give the credit to Hashem.
Oh, okay, I see.
And also you're patient.
Oh, okay.
That's how Rashi interprets it when he says Ish Moshe Anav. So, anyways, the crown jewel. He actually wants it to be. He wants his son to know this by heart. This letter, and this really instills from a young age how to fear God into people. And it's one of the most classic letters. It's an ethical will. Actually, based on this letter, the Shlach Kadosh writes every parent should write an ethical will to his children to teach them about the lessons of life. I have a few. I have a part 1, 2, and 3. I've given my kids part 1. I need to send them 2 and 3 actually. But different lessons about life. Rothschild had an ethical will.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Who was Rothschild?
Rothschild is the richest person in the world ever.
He was Jewish?
Yeah.
I never wished to become very, very wealthy because too much money is problem.
It makes you Balgaiva. It makes you Balgaiva.
Yeah,
and also
satisfactory wealth, that's
right.
Yeah.
Now this has a nuclear spiritual power, this letter. Because the Ramban says, we have a lawyer here. We're just talking about law for the last half an hour. He says that every time you read this, he will be your guarantor, and his soul will go to the Almighty and ask for God to give you whatever you want. So after you finish reading this prayer, you could say, ask God whatever you want, and the Ramban will be your heavenly angelic advocate to get it. So that's what it says in this book that really promotes this letter. It's called the Felet Sefarim, and he says it's a well-known custom. This letter was written almost 1,000 years ago, 700-800 years ago. It's known that all the great tzaddikim know that whoever constantly reads this is going to be saved from every, in Israel still there's missiles flying. Thank God it's much less, but from all different sarah, different danger and hardships, and it's going to be for sure. It's going to be for sure that he's going to be a ben olam haba. He's going to be, somebody that
whoever they do all of these things.
Exactly,
here.
reads it.
Okay,
So
we
now,
have to read it from the beginning. What to do?
okay, no. So now we're gonna read. We're gonna go. Yeah, we're gonna go through this whole book.
Okay, I have to
Now-
fix this. Okay.
So now he's going to explain Rabbi Segal, the Mashgiach, the master of Mussar of our generation. He's going to explain each and every line of the introduction we just read. So he says that, first of all, we said that one should read it at least once a week. Because again, greatness is not built.
You have a copy to give me also? Is that written in English?
No, it's not in English, it's in
Okay.
Hebrew.
Where can I find it in English?
We're gonna have, it's a good idea. Maybe we could ask him if he gives us the permission to translate it for him. It's gonna cost money, but it's worth it. It's so precious. I just want to say that
Who has to translate it?
it's in English. There's something similar to this, different idea,
Different version.
different commentary. But that's what really changed my life and caused me to want to become Orthodox at the age of 12, to become a Baal Tshuva. That's the Art Scrolls from Rabbi Chaim Freuer. Maybe if I have extra copy, I'll give you one of those.
I pay for it, whatever it costs.
Yeah, okay. So let's focus. So he says that Rav Chaim Kanievsky's father was one of the great Gedolim of our previous generation. He says that the Ramban tells his son you should read it only once a week. He says that was then, almost 1,000 years ago. Then people were on a much more spiritual and pristine level.
Way.
But he says nowadays, he believes that in order for it to have the proper effect, one should read it every day. So he says that he was talking to the Stipler, Rav Chaim Kanievsky's father, Rav Yaakov Yisrael Kamenetsky, and the Stipler said that. Oh, so I sorry, I didn't say this. He said that the Ramban wanted his son not only to learn this himself, but teach his own family, all his children, the ethical lessons of this. So he says that
The moral lessons.
the Stipler said that the Rav is a student of Panovich, so he lived in Bnei Brak. He was close to the Gedolim there. He says the Stipler, the Kilat Yaakov, lamented to him once that he says, "I tell
Lamented?
people." Yeah.
What does it mean?
He was upset. He says, "I've been telling people forever, but they don't listen to me." The same way adults need to learn Mussar, even children need to learn Mussar.
Since what age? Beginning what age?
He's gonna say,
Okay.
even young children, 6, 7 years old.
Wow.
And he said,
Starting by 6 years
Yeah.
old? Okay.
so he said, "Va'omer im yeladim." Of course, if they're only like young, like 6, 7, 8, so each child according to his capacity, right? Each person is a different world, but the general guideline is a young child, you shouldn't learn more than 10 minutes because he's not going to focus and it's not going to really affect him. He doesn't have the attention span. But he said not to learn with them at all. God forbid the bad midot, the bad traits could start taking root because, right, everything, it's Rabbi Wolbe has a wonderful book that's been translated to English actually. Every parent should read it. It's called Zriya Binyan, about how
What does it mean?
when there's 2 ways we can discipline our children and teach them,
Okay.
guide them. One way is to building them up, and one thing is you plant the idea in the head, you let it, it's going to take time for it to sprout.
To develop.
To develop, exactly. So he says that, he says if God forbid, somebody never learns Mussar, once he becomes a Baal Gaiva, is it easy to make him a non-Baal Gaiva? There's nobody to talk to. He's already become like an idol. Just read the Zohar and, right? Because by the same token, remember I said a few minutes ago, the crown jewel of all good midot is humility. The thing that God despises the most is what?
Haughtiness.
Haughtiness.
Right.
So he said, it's some people, like I say, we Jews are stubborn as it is. If you don't work with a person, God forbid he's going to develop nuclear-proof concrete head. It's not.
If they don't have
So he says that's why you need to plant good things in the kid's head. From 6-7 years old, learn Mussar with him, right? This is a wonderful book. It's not. It's pretty clear ideas. But I just want to say this was revolutionary to me, because I've been learning this letter for 36 years now, and for a gadol to come and
36
say
years. Oh,
for a gadol come.
How often, Rabbi, during 36 years?
I would try to do it at least once a month. Sometimes I would do it every day, once a week.
Wow.
But now that you know, by the way, Rav Chaim Kanievsky writes something very important. He says, like, why do we need modern contemporary authors to write Mussar books? Don't we have the classics, like what we were learning, Smisat Yesharim or Chovat HaLavavot? So he says something very important from the Peliotes. He says every generation has its own challenges, right? We have smartphones now. We have
More challenges than before, Rabbi?
Yeah.
Than 1,000 years ago?
Yeah, much more.
Because
ethically.
now technology is much better. Life is easier. Why
No,
more challenges?
more challenges because to be holy and
To be
spiritual.
holy, okay.
Exactly.
Because of the morality and decency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the Big Bang Theory, which is the Klipa of Amalek, the Mekubalim say, and modern psychology, if it's done in a non-kosher way, Sigmund Freud kind of said, you should do everything you want. And then when people live like modern apes, they think we're just modern apes, and they don't cherish the soul, the neshama, then,
They live like animals.
Exactly. So what I'm trying to tell you is that I just wanted to point this out, that it's a revolutionary idea. That Rav Dan Segal says, that was for 800 years ago. But in order to get this, reap the proper benefits of this, and to grow from learning this letter, you need to learn it every day. Bli neder, in the shul, I have a few of the small copies. They only cost like $3-4.
Can you get the artist school that they have in
I have it in my
I'll pay
office.
for it, whatever it
No,
costs.
don't worry. It'll be my gift to you. I have it already.
Okay, thank you.
If not, so anyways. Oh, so Rav Dan Segal was not saying this on his own accord. He was saying that he says so. Anyways, he was quoting the Stipler. He's saying if God forbid the person becomes to a Baal Gaiva, then there's nobody to speak to anymore, right? It's like a robot. You're like speaking to the wall.
Because they think they are God.
And he also
like
said something else. He
that.
said,
That's true.
just like you eat and sleep every day, because the body needs sunlight, and you're right. He said, if God forbid you skip one day of Mussar, it's like you skipped 100 days. So it's very important to learn. This is unfortunately something that I was lamenting to the rabbi of the shul I was with. A lot of times people, listen, without Shabbat, for sure, we would be like the Titanic and sunk a long time ago. But in order for a person to have proper growth, our Rebbe, Rabbi Fran, was saying this. It's very important to be yomi. It's very important to have consistency.
Everyday learning.
Every daf yomi, halacha yomi,
Daf
chokle
yomi.
Israel yomi, Mussar yomi. So the Stipler says a scary thing. He says that if God forbid you miss one day, it's like you missed 100 days. And he says, I just want to say that, again, he goes to explain this. He says that you should learn with your children. But he says, Imo, you should learn it together with your children. Which means the father shouldn't just preach. The best technique of teaching, and I never forget my Rebbe, HaRav Eliezer ben David. Once we had this international, national rabbinic conference. The Persian Rabbinic Association of America, unfortunately, we only had one convention. They were going to have it every year. It didn't work out. Park. But anyways, Rabbi Ben David spoke there. He said, rabbis, it's important to say a nice speech and drasha. But people learn 1,000 times more from your actions, which means if the rabbi is actually a sterling symbol of humility, then people will able to
emulate
him. So he says that's why it says you should learn it together with your children, which means the father shouldn't just be preaching off from a high pedestal and say, "Oh, you need to do this." He needs to absorb and be the sterling example
and do it himself.
Be the personification of these ideas. That's the right way in Torah. Torah, we don't preach. We learn together and grow together. And he says, this is, by the way, the Chafetz Chaim is a famous statement from the Chafetz Chaim. They once asked him, his students, that is it appropriate to tell people, give a speech to people, not to say Lashon Hara, but you yourself always say it. Because you haven't perfected. Does perhaps maybe one should only speak about subjects, the rabbi or the teacher, that he himself has perfected. So the Chafetz Chaim said no. He says as long as you include yourself with them, you're not only talking down to them, you're including yourself, that you also you're talking to yourself, right? You and them are together in this. To build up yourself together, he says it's fine. So he says that's what the Ramban is also saying, that it's very important to learn these ideas together. The father should try to be the example, the leader, to carry out these very holy and spiritual ideas of not yelling and screaming. He's going to say that it's actually Rav Volbe talks about this in Ali Shor. He says that for 3 years we were learning the Meselat Yesharim, right? So he has a ladder how to get to become a heavenly person, right? An angelic person that gets Ruach HaKodesh. This is also actually a ladder, how to reach greatness. He has a different steps. His steps are basically, one, control anger. Because as long as you're an angry person that don't have patience and you yell and scream at people, you're not humble. Then he has a different system. But all of them are leading to self-growth. And Hashem should always help us. That
somebody who is always angry, nobody likes him. And
exactly.
He cannot do nothing in the society.
Exactly. Hashem should help us every day. We should become closer to God. Yeah. A person should always, Hashem should help us always, that every day we should become better, greater, and closer to Hashem. Amen.